there is one thing across the board
Yeah.
that is most helpful to families,
Yeah.
to mom, and even to dad himself. And it is the ability to be present, be emotionally present, remain emotionally present, even if it gets uncomfortable, right? And just be that steady presence that's there.
You're listening to the Better Relationships After Baby podcast, where we believe your relationship can be better than ever after having a baby. But it does take tools, insights, and support to help you get there. I'm Chelsea. Join me and my husband, Mike, as we have honest conversations, provide valuable tips you can apply today, and root for you to have your best relationship ever. It's not only good for you and your family, it's good for the whole world around us. Now let's get into today's episode. Hey friends, today's podcast episode ran a little bit longer than usual. So I took some of the back and forth between Mike and I about the future of humanity and being a parent and navigating the world right now, and I put it at the end. So if you want to hear that kind of thing, listen all the way to the end for a little behind the scenes of our podcast.
Back to this, we're on this mountain of understanding that we've never had before. And that's great. Now, sometimes there is a little bit of a disconnect in the book smarts and then the actual lived applied experience, right? Like it's not like it's all laid out for us. But it's also not like we're completely starting from scratch either. Like my mom was a great safe place when I was a little kid. I remember that. I think a lot of moms are, right? But nervous system talk, that is what kids really flourish in, is when they feel safe at home. Not just physically, but emotionally, that they can show up and they're always welcome, The most formative time and the most fragile time is, I think, when a family's just getting started, right? It's a rough season, the postpartum season. Have you heard of it?
Have not.
Well, it's tough, especially on the people that have the babies.
How do you know?
I was married to one.
Are you no longer?
We're not the same people.
Which wife do you like better?
The new and improved. Which husband do you like better?
Definitely the upgrade.
But let's talk about, I want to link one thing here. When I was in college, I had this feeling like, it is a shame, or it is unfortunate that all of this knowledge is being found and put into these scientific journals. And the only people that are really seeing it are the people in those niche fields.
Yeah.
And how helpful it would be if more people knew. Well, shortly after that, Brene Brown came out, and she was like,
she stole your idea, motherfucker.
I mean, she is like a rarity, right? Because she can do the research. She can put her brain in that sort of scientific mode, but then she can also step across and just talk plainly about what she's learned. Usually there's not that, right? Someone is so involved in their field, that's all they think about. They're immersed in it, and what's really cool now is that we have, I think, all of the generative AIs, like the Gemini and ChatGPT, all those have access to these journals and all these research findings. And so we can ask it a plain language question.
Right.
It can find the data and translate it into a plain language answer for us.
Yeah. I remember when I started Postpartum together with a blog, a big part of that was trying to make things easy to grasp for a stressed, tired new
Mhm.
mom, new parent. So I think that has stayed
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah. One of the things that we have found out doing research about what makes families flourish, what makes them really thrive, what can the members of the family do to bring about those best outcomes. The one thing that has hit the top of the list every time has been someone in the home who is able to anchor themselves in and be a grounded presence for the rest of the family. Now that can shift around, right? Maybe that's mom, maybe that's grandma, right? Like it could be a different sort of, but most likely, what I'm trying to say here, most likely, most often, it's dad. Because most couples don't have live-ins that are helping them.
Right.
They're pretty much on their own.
Yeah. And mom is really at a disadvantage in a lot of ways because physically
Mhm.
in multiple places across the body, there are changes and fluctuations and
Mhm.
prohibitors. And so I think
it's
that's
lot. She's carrying a huge burden.
a big moment when families come home of kind of like who's going to set the tone for how we're going to do during this circus of a time.
Yeah. And some women don't have a difficult time in postpartum. Sometimes that's a very easy transition, but most of the time it's a hellscape.
Okay, but also sometimes some women have a strong hold on control.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that can be a difficult time too.
Yeah.
When, regardless of whether partner, dad is wanting to step in, step up,
Mm-hmm.
if she's so tightly grasping it,
Mm-hmm.
then there's no alleviating that stress.
Yeah. And this is probably something that's residual, right? I think moms have usually set the tone in the home. And that probably comes back from when men were the ones out being the providers, financial providers.
And women were the only ones really caring for the home.
Yeah. And I actually remember I was in a conservative church service and they were like, men are in charge of everything except the home. Women are in charge at home. So if she says, honey, do the dishes, do the dishes. So, but that made the man a helper, but not like an anchor.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like every sitcom I watched growing up, probably.
Right. I hated those sitcoms.
Mom
did everything, and dad was a doofus.
I'm
like,
down
what
at
are
the table, get served.
Yeah. Now, partly I was looking for a good example, a good role model. And so that's partly why I was actively searching. That's partly why I hated that men were like the useless doofus of every show.
Yeah.
And often in people's homes too, and that's not a knock on men. Like literally men that we talk to want to show up, like the desire to really come through for his family is there, but there's no examples. There's no explanation.
And there's no cultural space. I'm not making excuses.
That's actually
everyone
a very
always knows
good
this,
point.
but there's no cultural space to like talk about it, discover it, be a little bit awkward, feeling it out. To be fair, moms do. There's not enough, right? And I still hope more and more discover them. But moms do have some spaces created to gather, and maybe have space for the awkward.
Yeah.
And it's very few and far between that a dad has access to that kind of space.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Reddit has a nice thread. Most of the time it's supportive and pretty informative, but that's about the only place I mean, there's Facebook groups for dads with one member, right? There's like 12 of them on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, they're terrible.
Wow.
And I agree. And I think I and a lot of dads wish there were examples, because we're not sure how to do
You're
what
eager to please.
Yeah, that's a very good way to say it.
And I'm like, damn it, it's not my job to tell you how to please. Just figure out how to please and do it right.
Right. Which is why I did this research. Like, speaking for other dads, like, we want to step in and do the thing that needs done. If we look back at just like the history of just a heteronormative, which, like the largest pattern. So look at me trying to be inclusive.
I know, I see you.
One way I like to look at this is that throughout history, women have always been tied to childbirth, right? Men have had the most agency. I'm just really talking about pregnancy, birth, and early years, right? Okay. Like that's, men have typically met the need. There was a time that men needed to be hunters, and they hunted. There was a time that men needed to be fighters, and they protected. There was a time that men needed to be financial providers, so they went out and worked.
Now what?
And now, right, what is the call? What are they called to?
Do you have a proposition?
I have a question.
Okay.
And more questions and ideas. I think that with the evidence we have a clarity, clear view that is an advantage. I think we are more connected with our partners and in terms of being able to communicate and understand each other. There is a way that we hear moms ask for help. There are certain ways that they wish men would step up.
Okay. Yes.
So we've got some different indicators.
Right.
I mean, the best thing that dad, or it could be anyone in the home that's invested in the family, like a part of the family kind of thing, they have the most agency and the greatest ability to anchor themselves, because mom is going through an effing gauntlet. Is she not?
She is. Yeah. And okay, so we had kind of centered this around the word steady, like being a steady presence.
Yeah.
And I think, is that swappable with anchor?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. This may have not been clear, but I think the point of this is there is one thing across the board that is most helpful to families, to mom, and even to dad himself. And it is the ability to be present, be emotionally present, remain emotionally present, even if it gets uncomfortable, right? And just be that steady presence that's there.
Mm-hmm. I recognize, I go two directions, right? Like, I really am team both partners. And I think I empathize with both partners. I see, obviously, and feel a woman who is feeling out of control and is in so many ways, just trying to do her best second after second.
Yeah.
And I see what a gap there is for many men of emotional availability, emotional leadership, emotional regulation,
Gotcha.
Nervous system understanding. Like, it's a tall order.
I see.
And
it's the best
necessary
thing you can do. Yeah.
If you want to keep your relationship going.
Right.
Step up and do it.
That's what gets me so excited. When history shows us that when men are pressured to show up in a certain way, they have done it. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm just excited for this next season of dads. I'm excited because I think this generation of dads is well more aware of their own nervous system and their emotional well-being. it's a tall order, but we already have a great head start.
Yeah.
And it is the best thing research says can be available to a family.
Okay.
Is that anchored presence.
Yeah.
Mom has already got enough.
Baby is not going to be regulated.
Absolutely not.
It's going to
however,
try to throw everyone off.
Yeah. And what we're talking about is nervous system work, really, which yes, we can get into that. But I think
we can link to another episode where we
that's
talk about
true.
this more.
Yeah. But I do want to say this isn't like a hero saving the damsel type of situation, right? That's not what we're setting up here. And we're not setting a permanent dynamic. Okay. Because I don't think that's what this generation of parents wants either. They want to flex and flow depending on what the needs are. And in this season, mom needs an effing anchor.
Okay, yeah.
If there's two moms, the birthing mom needs an anchor. And nervous system work is pretty new, but it's not difficult, right? Men can learn to do this. They can learn to anchor themselves in.
Yeah, which is like a big that's a big move of love to enter something intentionally like that. And just choosing, like, I am going to learn how to be these things that does not maybe come so naturally to me.
Yeah. That is it. It's that choice factor.
Basketball, there's probably a skill. Look at me, sports analogies.
Yeah, right.
But in basketball, I'm sure to be a good player, there's like a skill that doesn't come as naturally to you that you need to develop in order to be a good part of the team.
Yeah. And this is truly a fundamentally good skill for humans anytime, anywhere. After talking with dads, one thing is clear. Most guys want to step up, they want to step in, but they're not sure what to do. And they're tired of being on the sidelines. The Dadvantage group is just for dads, and it's going to lay out what you need to do to show up well for your family, for your wife, and for yourself in the postpartum season.
And moms, I haven't forgotten about you. That's why next week we kick off the next round of the Confident Mom Reset, where we're learning how to listen to and honor and use your voice confidently again so that you really can bridge some of those gaps and build teamwork alongside your partner and just feel better and more in tune with yourself again. If you're interested in either of those groups, you can send us an email at the address in the show notes. All right, let's get back to today's episode.
Go ahead.
I just want to know what you're thinking as far as like, what are some of the clear markers or ways, not even markers. I'm not talking about measuring up right now. I'm talking about what are ways that you can develop skills around this that maybe you haven't accessed before.
Great question. I will give a couple examples. There are a few different ways that are popular. So some people have probably heard about those. But right before I do that, I do want to say that I remember, I don't have it in front of me, but when dad can be that presence, that present human, when he's emotionally present, mom has a 50% chance or less. Yes, 50%
lower.
Postpartum depression is cut in half.
Okay, there you go. Okay,
and that's like a striking statistic.
Yeah, you don't know where that came from right now.
I don't know, but it's
try to look for
that. And we also I talked about that with Share the Drop. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
So she works with mom's mental health, maternal mental health, and it's a game changer for mental health. Babies cry less. Right? Because they can sense a presence in the room that is calm and they sync up to it.
So you're talking about like co-regulation.
Yeah.
Which we also did an episode on that. So we can link that below. But I was thinking about how having one person that people can literally kind of latch onto and co-regulate with and share that calm.
Right.
You're like the recharge station.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that.
Speaking to dads,
yes.
What do you suggest people who want to step up intentionally do?
Yeah. So there are a dozen different practices that I personally have used, and at different times, certain ones work better. One of my favorites that came through most often for me was a breathing method that was popularized by the Iceman Wim Hof. If you've not heard of him, he does these seriously insane ice plunges. Apparently, I'm just following men that do extreme things.
You're having a midlife crisis.
But he's a pretty neat guy. He's like a pretty laid back kind of Dutch dude that meditates and gets in the ice water. But this breathing method is a great nervous system resetter. You can try to do it on your own, but the easiest thing would be to just pull up a YouTube video of him and follow his guidance. You take 30 breaths as full as you can relatively quickly without making yourself anxious. And then on the exhale, you just settle, right? So when we talk about the nervous system, inhale, exhale, when you're inhaling, you're activating your sympathetic nervous system, which is like the action and when you exhale, you're activating the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the calm, rest, digest. So if you notice when you breathe, you feel just a tiny rise in anxiety, maybe, or energy or tension when you inhale. And then as you exhale, you feel like a settling, right? And that might be simply our body responding to the tightness of our chest over human evolution. But when you exhale, it activates the part of your nervous system that you want to tap into to anchor. And so if you do these breaths, you oxygenate your body, and then you exhale, and you're there in that spot, anchored in, you're kind of settling. Your mind gets quiet, you get more focus, and you feel yourself come back to your body. I've literally held my breath longer than ever doing that method. I think like divers also use it. But
I think it would make sense with the cold plungy stuff.
Well, I meant the underwater, hold your breath.
Yeah, but breathing is harder in cold water.
That's a good point. It really is. But it's great. So it's a total reset. So one thing is it quiets the noise, but then it also puts you in that parasympathetic state for a longer period of time. You're there for minutes, not just a brief moment as you're exhaling. And you're not really doing anything, but staying there and allowing, I just kind of just listen to my body and see what I feel. And usually by the third round, I'm good as gold, ready to go.
Very cool. How could someone access that if they're listening?
Oh, YouTube would be the best, I think. There's an app and some other things, but
yeah. Can I do a quick story?
Yeah.
Mike actually, when we were doing our RV travels, taught this breathing practice to the senior citizens that lived at the mobile home / RV resort that we stayed at outside of Palm Springs in the winter. And so there was a little lady, and she would come by and made sure she knew when Mike was doing his next breathing class because she wanted to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot about that. That was a fun time.
All right.
Yeah. And that one's good too, because it was good for old folks. It's a great practice. It's healthy in a lot of different ways, but focusing on being an anchor, that is a tool for your tool belt.
Yeah.
You're coming home from work, do that, and walk into the house in a much better state. You can bring in a calm presence rather than feel like you're letting go of the baggage from work while you're at home and everyone's at you, and it turns into kind of a chaotic circus.
Yeah. Can I plug a couple recommendations in here based on what you just said? I'm thinking of people who have a commute.
Yeah.
One thing I think that can be important is even like being mindful of what music you choose on your drive home or how you allow yourself to have that commute. The other plug here is for those who don't have a commute. Maybe this is a stay-at-home parent or a parent that works from home, especially when there's a baby and it seems like one person is on all the time. I think that for dads to give a mom that's at home all day a commute, quote unquote commute, maybe it's a walk around the block. Maybe they go into their room for 10 minutes. It's a reset from, I've been here in this capacity and now we're all here together in this family capacity. Those little resets can be really important to give each other or to take mindfully if you already have it on a drive or something where you already have that protected time.
Yeah, that's excellent. I know we've talked about that before, but the times I've been at home with the kids and then you finally get back, I'm like, I need a break, right? But I think it's so natural what we've seen in television and from the examples of our own life is that men come home and the family does its family thing and mom never gets a chance to get her feet back under her. Yeah, so that is a great idea and practice that could be used. All right, so we're really not hacking it. We're just choosing to work with our biology here. But I do want to say something else, though, because we're still coming off of sort of old templates, right? Being anchored means that you're a calm body in the room. Like that's what anchored means. It's not stoic in the unfeeling, hard and unemotional sense, which I think I've heard people teach on stoicism. I don't even think that's what stoicism is supposed to be. But it's, what you're going for here is steadiness, not numbness or hard, cold, it's not control. It's connection.
Yeah. And I think people get, specifically men, I'm being very gender stereotypical, I think it would be easier to tap into that coldness or stoic.
Right, because those are the examples we've seen.
And just kind of put a wall around everything and not really engage. And that's not what your wife or your partner wants.
Right.
Your partner doesn't want you perfect. Everything goes off, follows boom, boom, bam. Your partner wants you available and gentle and steady. This inner strength of safety.
Yeah. And you said gentle, which isn't always a masculine trait, but then I just thought of the word gentleman. Why would that be? I mean, it was used in a positive way.
Yeah.
Obviously, when men can be gentle, that's powerful.
And that's self-control.
Right.
And self-control is powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is. It's like, it is a strength, but it is an inner work that you're doing, which I love this quote. It's like a Buddhist quote. And it was like, better than any man in battle, or whoever has killed many others or something. I have chopped that one up.
Definitely chopped.
Better is the man that masters himself than him who defeats others in battle. That is the hardest.
That's the hard choice.
Yeah, right? Like, to defeat your own, sometimes selfishness, but sometimes just your own limitations.
Yeah.
Right? I think there have been times I have been tired and I've wanted the kids to go, to leave me alone. And I'm like, but these moments don't repeat. This is my chance to connect with them. I may not have it tomorrow. I would like to. So I force myself, and I have this energy as I go into it, right? Like, that took kind of a deeper strength to move in that way. And then when I was there, it was great, right?
Yeah. I'm feeling like men have 3 choices.
Let's hear them. What are they?
Step up.
Uh-huh.
And that's what your partner 99.9% of the time is wanting you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Step aside and you're going to be another one of the children, basically, just existing there, being something else to pick up after or take care of. And then that's not sexy. And then you feel like roommates. So first one, you step up your teammates.
Mm-hmm.
You step aside your roommates. She's stressed, but she's going to just take care of it anyways.
Yeah.
Or you step down and you leave, I guess, is the step down.
I feel like when people step down, they feel overwhelmed. And when they step in, it's because they have a clue. But most of what I've seen in our work has been that men want to step up. They want to step in. They want to get in the game.
Right.
But they are finding themselves standing at the sidelines, unsure of how to get in and what to do.
Uh-huh.
They're at the sidelines a lot more than they expected they would be.
Oh, yeah.
And moms are
playing the coach, even though they just thought all they had to do was be the quarterback.
Yeah, right.
Now they're also the coach.
Yeah, so I think it's a matter of, I think we're right at the cusp of something special.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think we have had a lot of step aside examples, and we're seeing a lot more step up desire.
Yeah.
Anything else about creating that anchor energy that you have found?
Yeah, just a couple maybe chunks of value. This is from my own experience, but I find it really helpful to think about stillness. And so it's easy to get stressed and not be present and not be steady if your mind is off worrying about things. And so I probably picked up in maybe a meditation or something, but I listened to the stillness within, which might just be a trick of my brain, right? Like where is that?
Yeah.
What's that sound like? Oh, nothing. But it has been really helpful for me to be like, I tune into the stillness within. And that has been really helpful. Of course, the Wim Hof is really good. Another really easy one. This one's great on a commute. This one's fantastic in a conversation that's tense. You have a longer exhale than inhale. It's the same principle of being in the parasympathetic nervous system and the being calm and anchored side. And so you just breathe in for 4. This one that we did recently, I really like. Breathe in for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6, and then hold for another 2. You'll notice at the end of 6 and then the 1, 2, where there's no breath, there is a calmness that you feel. Yeah. So on a commute, you do that and it accumulates. The calmness accumulates. And in an argument or a stressful, mom is having a hard time, right? It is easy when mom's having a hard time to take things personally, to get bent out of shape, feel like you've got to defend yourself.
Yeah.
And an easy escape from getting off on all those unhelpful trains of thought is to listen to your breath while you're listening to her. And so that breath, the 4 in, 2 hold, 6 out, 2. It's 4, 2, 6, 2. Is really helpful because you can still pay attention, but that part of you that would otherwise be running off on just some anxious rabbit trails is now with the breath. And at least that's been my experience. I don't know if that's going to be everybody's. And so when I'm breathing that 4, 2, 6, 2, and I'm listening, I feel like I am present. I am here. I am staying with my breath. I am staying with you. Nothing is upsetting me or offending me because my role here is to listen and to be present to you, how you're feeling and what you're saying.
Now, you know how I like to conjure up a problem and then offer a solution to that problem?
Yeah.
I'm going to do that right now.
Okay.
But it's for our listeners. So I'm imagining someone listening to this, and then specifically a man being like, man, yeah, I should give it a try, but then something happens and he tries to take a breath, and then his wife's like, what's taking you so long? Or maybe he's like, just a minute. And he doesn't want to say, I'm becoming present, or I'm getting in the moment, or I don't know. Did you ever feel that way? Because I can see myself being like, back in that early day, the early days, I can see myself being like, must be nice to have a minute to breathe, or, I need you right now. Like,
well, that breathing method is right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I sit down before I even start doing that, and I'm listening before, but then usually as we're talking, I have learned to recognize, oh, this is starting to upset me. What can I do? Oh, I should listen to my breath as I listen to my wife. So usually it's the conversation that triggers me thinking about doing it. The Wim Hof, though, I mean, if you're holding your breath for a long ass time, it can be like 20, 25 minutes. And so that one does require, making some room, but is also a great reset. So if it's worth it.
Yeah. And as frustrating as it could be sometimes, I really appreciated when you started to not just, like, I think at first you just go disappear in the bedroom. And I'm like, not feeling great about that. But when we really got to communicate that we were taking care of ourselves so we could show up for each other, that respectful communication helped.
Yeah. Yeah, it really did. Yeah.
So, I think also like starting to build language with your partner about some of this stuff, about, can I take 5 minutes? I really feel like I need to get centered or anchor before we do this next thing.
Yeah. Or I know sometimes maybe this is when I could have used the breathing and didn't. I can say things like, all right, I'm starting to feel alarm bells go off on the inside, and that's going to put me in a frame of mind where I'm not best suited to be a good partner. So can we take a 5-minute break? I'm going to do some breathing. We can come back to this. Those are probably my best easy wins.
I think they're good.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's not about perfection. Like, you are growing. You're an organic, biological based being. And so you literally have to develop these neurons to be transformed into this new version of yourself. And so it doesn't always feel natural at first.
Was there more that you wanted to say?
Oh, yeah. Like,
so a lot in here.
It is. Yeah, I think I want to say just a few principles that really have helped me, and I think they're good to keep in mind. If you're a dad and you're sitting, listening, lending your ear to your wife, there are going to be times that you start to feel like, I have to fix this. I don't know how to fix this.
Yeah.
Happens a lot. And it's okay to feel that way. But in this situation, fixing is about listening and hearing and being present to what feelings are being shared. Being, present enough to have empathy. When you start to feel that way, getting curious and listening is really the right answer. And we didn't mention kids very much, but kids are going to learn their sense of safety from their home. And as we said before, mom's going through a gauntlet of circus roller coaster chaos, and dad is the non-birthing partner or auntie or whoever is going to be the one most capable of providing that sense of safety. Oh shit, dude!
So
that went by fast.
Yeah.
Okay. He's not like doesn't look muscular. He's a professor at Harvard. And he talks about, he does a 15-minute plank, 15 to 20 minutes every day. But here's the cool thing. The kind of mental toughness it requires. He said, you don't even have to be that physically fit. It's really keeping your head in the game on this one. But when you get into that, it releases BNDF. Have you heard of that before?
Nuisance, don't f with it.
Sure. It's like, it makes your, when they say brain plasticity, like it just sends all the chemicals for new neurons to grow. So it's like, I don't know, like brain neuro something factor, development factor. So anyway, like if you get in holding, he's like a neuroscience or something, right? It's like, so if you do planks, and while you're doing your plank, you're rehearsing the things that are important to you, like your goals and he's like, that's going to give your brain the best opportunity to build those networks around what you want out of your life.
I think that's why I pussed out of the half marathon this year. Like my brain just wasn't there.
Mental toughness?
Yeah. I had trained so hard and like got my body to new places, it felt like, but
yeah,
mentally I just couldn't. I mean, I could have, right? But I chose. I mean, I feel like I can remember the moment I chose, like, I'm just going to downgrade this effort because.
And today's not the day.
Yes. This is a hassle. And yeah. I am not going to have my best.
Yeah.
But it is frustrating.
I think it's amazing how much is mental.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of it's probably like a majority of it, maybe. I'm not how you measure mental against physical, but getting into the wrong frame of mind can make your body feel heavy and tired and weak. And then when you're in a great frame of mind, you feel energetic.
Yeah, like euphoric.
Yeah. So it's like, and I love this because there are people that train their minds that they put up filters and they're like, I will not allow these kind of thoughts, right? I'm thinking people like athletes or high performers. They don't entertain thoughts that are not going to help them. And so, like, that's pretty damn smart. I think that I'm going to start doing more of that, actually. I have been doing more of that now that I think about it.
Yay.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
BNDF, what does that mean? Something factor.
Brain neuroplasticity.
Let's just.
Defiance factor.
I don't think it's the defiance factor.
Oh, man. It's one of my favorite words.
That is a good word. What does BNDF stand for? And who's the Harvard professor that holds the 15-minute long planks? All right, let's see. Not 15-minute long blanks. Okay, so it means brain-derived neurotrophic factor.
Oh.
A protein in the brain involved in plasticity, memory, and neural survival. I don't know what that means. Keeps your neurons alive. It allows you to think outside your box and it improves memory. So like, let's get to doing these planks, right?
Okay.
And these are also things that have been talked about with magic mushrooms or other psychedelics.
Yeah.
Brain plasticity goes up a lot. Like you're able to think outside of your own mental limitations that you usually stay within and get new perspectives.
So are there ways to improve your, I know it's not BDSM, whatever.
It is today, ladies and gentlemen.
But how, like now I'm thinking, what if I didn't focus on running for the next 4 weeks before I try to do another half marathon? Like, what if I just focused more on the
developing mental toughness?
Yes.
Yeah.
I wonder what that would be like.
Yeah. That's a great question. There's this guy, I don't know where he falls. He's like not political, but he seems like he probably is on the conservative side.
Okay.
But he never brings that in. He never does shady shit. He doesn't, but he talks about mental toughness. That's what he trains on. And so he's done all these competitions, like these Guinness Book of World Records, where they'll like drop a bowling ball from a ladder onto his stomach. And
God.
He has done all like insane things. Something with an arrow once, but anyway, it's like stuff you'd almost see in the circus, right?
Okay.
But he has also done a lot of, I think he fell out of an airplane. His parachute didn't deploy and he broke every bone in his body.
Sir.
Now, I'm pretty sure that's right. His name's Mike Gillette. We need to check that out. Did Mike Gillette survive from a haphazard parachuting incident where he broke every bone in his body? That's how I search.
Did you? I hope it says yes, Mike. You are absolutely correct.
No, it says your story is conflated, unofficial, or has details that may have changed over time. Well, just took him down from the pedestal.
Oh my gosh. Conflated. Help me off the ground.
Sure, absolutely. Yes. But I will stand by, he talks about mental toughness being really the key to physical toughness.
All right, well, maybe
there we go.
I'll report back on that.
Yeah, maybe so. Just don't drop any bowling balls on yourself, okay?
Deal.
How's your life been? How's it been today?
It's been good today. It's Monday morning and I wake up and feel like it has to be the chaotic time and I need to feel stressed because it's Monday morning. And if I have a business, then Monday mornings need to be crazy. And it was like a very cozy, creative morning.
Oh, wow. You
rebel.
It was
really nice to defy.
There you go. Defying.
Yes. Defying the box that I have felt in those ways.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Me too,
actually. That's probably another way to release BNDF. BDNF.
Just keep knocking down the boxes you've created around constructs that don't actually apply to you, but you just apply them as a way to have boundaries.
Yeah. Oh, that's what we talked about this morning in that group, the Be Well Collective.
Okay, cool.
We were talking about how, well, I was talking about it, but then we were all talking about it. That we're at a stage where it's different than it ever has been in this way. We are on a mountain of credible research and scientific discovery and understanding, not in terms of like technological advancement, but in terms of understanding things like what sort of actions or behaviors bring about best outcomes for children. Like what can parents do? We have researched things. We've learned stuff. And we're at this, luckily, we're kind of at this like generational gap where the sort of traditional, the traditions weren't passed down as well.
Which traditions? Like the very simplified version, like the bad gender role traditions weren't passed down as much, or what?
Yeah, I think for a very long time, men knew how to be men because they watched their fathers and the other men around.
Okay.
Right? And that was just the natural way it passed down until we all started to look at life through more of an objective, scientific type of lens and started asking questions like, do kids have better outcomes if they get whippings and they're, punished physically? Or do the kids have better outcomes if they're not hit?
Okay. I have never thought of that in that way. Go on. I've never thought of that way.
Okay, that's good to know. Well, I think for the first time, we can look at this very objectively, and we have the choice to build the kind of families we want, right? That makes sense, right? that are actually going to flourish the way we're hoping.
Like have a potential shot at saving humanity.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah. I keep saying there's a lot of bad in the world and a lot of good at the same time. It's like just all being amplified. And I don't know that gives any direction, but when I feel overwhelmed by the bad, I remember that there have been people that have dedicated their lives to making this world a better place, and they have changed a lot in a lot of good ways.
Yeah. Okay. And so you were talking about the access to like research and science that sped up a lot, I think.
Oh yeah.
In I don't know what decade. I feel like maybe the 70s was a big
research era.
I'm not sure.
That's
But then not only like more research happening, but then research being public, and then more and more ways to access information and like dumb it down is not the word I want to say.
No, you're right. Like put it in common language.
Yeah.
Just plain, simple, easy to understand language.
Sure. And so what I think I hear you saying, which is really interesting to me, is that we are coming into a place where more and more parents have access to a lot of information they can make choices from, instead of just depending on what was passed down through lived experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of blew my mind. That's a really interesting factor in where families are right now.
Yeah. That made me think, even the sort of split we've had, this sort of everything changed so quickly, the older generations don't understand the younger ones. And that is kind of that happens all the time just because things change, but things don't usually change as quickly as they have. I think there's kind of a larger disconnect than there typically has been. But I think that also had to happen so that we're at a generation where we're like, okay, now what do we do?
Yeah.
Right? It's uncomfortable, but like it's a fresh start.
Yeah. So one thing that makes me think of that I'm going to mention, because maybe someone else needs to like recognize and maybe grieve this. Like I hadn't put this together until this moment, that there were times when I knew my own like mother, and maybe your mother and my grandmother specifically, like really wanted to pass on their experience and their knowledge. And sometimes it was annoying because I'm like, I have access to all of this, but like what a gap for them, because they probably imagined passing this information on. But instead of that being the way, it's a lot more of people doing their own research, choosing their own way, and kind of educating everybody else around them about their chosen way.
Right. Yeah. The chosen way. And I think that really plays to our strengths, right? Our prefrontal cortex allows us the agency to make decisions rather than go with the flow. And that means when we see a better way, we can go a better way. And that's all I have to say about that.
Okay. Well,
I can definitely say something else.
Okay.
Yeah, it really is such an opportunity. Now it comes with kind of the pain of change. And I do really long for that generational divide to be mended, if that's possible, because even though there's a lot of fighting, there's literally love underneath all that fighting, right? All of those feelings and strong feelings are two groups of people that do care about each other. It's just that we don't always agree on some very fundamental things.
Maybe not two groups. I feel like there's infinite points of conflict.
There are, yes. Yeah. But usually, yes. I guess I feel like they're all dyads or whatever that is when there's two. They're couples. There's one side than the other.
Yeah. Are we going to get histio-political here?
Maybe. No, I don't think so. No. But I think with where we're at, it's like such an open door. Like, things have changed so much. We've experienced so much really turbulence and shaking in our world, our education system, our financial systems, our healthcare systems, our political systems, our religious, like all of the systems that we have usually just been, jiving with, not our generation, but generations in the past, are now showing some very evident cracks, some signs of age, maybe some signs of obsoletism. They need some serious upgrades. But like, part of that is definitely scary. That will cause suffering, and has already caused suffering for not a lot of people, innocent people. And the other side of that is, this is our opportunity to learn how to be communities again. This is the opportunity for us to look inward rather than outward towards the external things and systems, but look inward towards our own families, our own local communities, and even our own self. It can be a really good time. And I think that never before have we had so much understanding about ourselves because of all this research, that we have such a good shot at, carrying over the stuff that still works, right? Leaving behind the stuff that doesn't, and adding in the new stuff to up-level us. How about that?
Well, pow.
How about that?
How?
Did you have any aha moments or helpful reframes that came from this episode? If so, would you take a minute to lift us up and leave a review or a comment on the podcast page? It's hard for me to ask this, but I know it's so helpful for us as we reach more and more families and make the world a better place, starting in our own homes. So again, if something stuck out to you, if you are sending this to your partner so that you can have a conversation, or if there was a helpful tip you're going to employ in your own life, take a moment, leave a review, and let's keep the conversation going.